Hi, and welcome. This is a Facebook series on Arizona Vote 2022. Did you know? Let me just
Clarification,
ask
Gina.
this question again, that elections are won in the primaries.
Sure.
Anything on that?
So Gina had mentioned when she rephrased what I said about competitive primaries. She's absolutely right that if a primary is competitive in a district or in a general election or in a statewide election, I should say, those primaries are a lot more. Um, they have either more candidates or they have a couple of candidates that are close in the polls or whatever the case may be. If, for instance, you live in a really democratic area and there are a number of Democratic candidates that are running against each other in the primary, voting in those primaries can help determine which of those candidates run in the general election. There are some elections that have around the state that have no contest when it comes to one party or the other. So, for instance, in a very Democratic area, a Republican candidate may not even run. And so the primary election is, in essence, the general election. And the case is also true even if an opposite party candidate is running, the that the demographics of the political demographics, I should say, of the area are what help determine the race. If you live in a very conservative area, the Democratic Party may nominate somebody to run in the general election, but they end up losing by a significant margin just by the nature of the area. So there's a lot of races that are what you might consider uncompetitive, and the competitive side of those races happen in the primaries.
So it is very important, would you say, to vote in as an independent voter, uh, period, right? But from what I gather, there could be a strategy.
I would hesitate to call it a strategy. I would just
Okay.
say it's more you're picking somebody who represents your interests. So
Okay.
that's how I make the decision of which party ballot I'm going to take in the primary election. If there is a competitive race, whichever side of it is, I'll take into consideration the candidates on each side, which and what those candidates represent and how closely they align to my values, and I'll also take into consideration the competitiveness of those primary races.
Got it. Gina Roberts from Clean Elections, thank you so much for helping us do this show. Great information.
Thank you.
Brendan Blake, Associate State Director for Advocacy, AARP Arizona, thank you so very much.
Thanks, David.
Stay tuned. We will continue with this Facebook series. We'll do more shows, so stay tuned and see you then. Take care.